Hello, Artful Manifestors. Thank you for joining me today for this timeless pick a card tarot reading. Whenever you come across this reading is when you're meant to hear it. To choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of these lovely crystals I'm going to introduce or one of the cards I'm about to reveal. I always align my intentions for your highest and best good. Once you've chosen your reading, you'll go to the description box where you'll find links to all the readings as well as a list of all the cards that I use. And if I have links where you can find those, I include that as well. All right, for reading number 1, we have Dalmatian Jasper. And for reading number 2, Clear Quartz, double point. And for reading number 3, Ruby Kyanite. All right, let's look at the cards. For the first reading, this is the image. And for the second reading, this is the image. And for reading number 3, this is the image. All right, let your intuition be your guide. Whichever crystal or image you're most drawn to is most likely the reading meant for you, of course. If you're drawn to more than one or even all 3, feel free to listen to 2 or 3 readings because there might be additional messages for you there. Enjoy your reading. Greetings. Reading number 1, you chose the Dalmatian Jasper, which is a grounding and protecting stone. It connects you to the earth's steady vibration, helping anchor scattered or anxious energy. It acts as a shield from negativity, dissolving ill wishing or psychic clutter that ties. It might cling to your aura. It helps dissolve that. And it's often called a guardian stone for those who feel vulnerable or unsafe. It's also joy, play, and the inner child healing. Its spotted pattern mirrors the truth that life is never one solid color. Dark and light coexist. This teaches acceptance and humor in the ups and downs, awakens playfulness, laughter, spontaneity, reminding you not to take yourself too seriously. A wonderful ally for healing the inner child, helping release bitterness, cynicism, or mistrust that may have formed in youth. And it helps break down self-sabotaging patterns and unconscious habits by gently surfacing them for examination. It encourages honesty with the self, showing where we might be putting on spots that don't belong to us. It cleanses the aura and protects a refreshed outlook when the heart feels heavy or stagnant. Symbolically, it's tied to the dog. Dalmatian Jasper amplifies energies of loyalty, devotion, and unconditional love. Wonderful for strengthening bonds with animals, especially dogs, and for deepening trust in human relationships. It reminds us to be our own best companion, standing by ourselves with loyalty through change. And then we have this card, hibernation and regeneration. And at first it may seem like these are two completely different energies that wouldn't have anything to do with each other. But, the first thing that I said about Dalmatian Jasper is that it connects you to Earth's steady vibration. And look at this. She is resting in the earth. You see the roots of trees. Look at her cat underneath her head. She's using as a pillow. This reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. And as she's falling down that hole, it's like she's going past these roots. It's when you do a shamanic journey and you go into the earth. You can also think about going into the subconscious mind, going into the inner self. And of course, Alice is a young girl, and in her adventure, she gets really big in situations where she's too big. And in other situations, she feels too small, which is, that's how we feel when we're younger. Sometimes we feel like we're too big or too old, outgrowing some things, but not quite old enough for others. And throughout our life, we have ripples of that echo. Sometimes something happens and it makes us feel small. And sometimes things happen and it makes us feel big. Sometimes we might feel too old. So there is something about rest and regeneration, but there's also something about going into the depths, healing the inner child. Let's get some tarot cards and find out more. Something about these unconscious habits that are being brought to the surface so that you can deal with them, and it's related to the inner child. So let's find out which there we go. The Three of Pentacles, very interesting. The Knight of Swords. I love that he's on a bull with 3 horns rather than a horse, which is how we usually see the Knight of Swords depicted. And the 8 of Pentacles. Oh, all right. I mentioned Alice in Wonderland, and her cat's name is Dinah. And now they're singing that song, Someone's in the Kitchen with Dinah. If you know that song, or if you sing that song, I guess that message is for you. I never really think about Alice in Wonderland or her cat Dinah, but please let me know in the comments if that means something to you. All right, the Three of Pentacles it's really interesting because we see somebody here by themselves, and typically you see 3 people because it's a card of collaboration. It's also a card of mastery and building something greater than yourself, usually with the help of others. Now, the others may be people, but they could also be spirit. We could also think of it, the 3 pentacles, as mind, body, and spirit. So when it's appearing here in this position, when we're asking the question, what unconscious habit you're being called to release or shift, it points towards patterns around how you relate to work, recognition, and co-creation. So the shadow of this 3 of Pentacles as a habit would be over-reliance on external validation, always checking, always asking, needing others to approve or notice your skill before you trust your own mastery. I see somebody just like always asking, is this what I'm supposed to do? Is this what I'm supposed to do? That type of energy. It's also carrying the whole project yourself, struggling to delegate or collaborate, believing you can do it right. But for many of you listening, I feel it's the first. It's that doubting yourself, always asking. And it can also be shrinking your gifts. Remember that Alice grew and shrunk. So holding back contributions in group settings, unconsciously doubting your worth, your wisdom, your expertise, your skills, and maybe even a tendency towards perfectionism that interrupts the organic living process of creation. Yeah, for many of you though, I feel it's that, just that self-doubt and always needing that reassurance. And so how do you resolve that? Well, you have the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, swords are about our thoughts, our intelligence, our intellect. Yes, the sword of truth. This is sharp clarity of vision. And he rides with urgency. He's riding a bull. So he reveals both the challenge and the medicine to this unconscious habit that you're being called to release. Your mind is quick and perceptive and incisive, yet this same energy can sometimes drive you to seek confirmation outside yourself, as if moving too quickly, deciding too quickly, it's an unconscious habit, to verify what you already know. So honor your speed of knowing. Just as we see this bull, these rings look like, rings that would light up, kind of like a laser, like it's there and then it disappears and it might show up somewhere else. So there's, this knight can't stop and look at the crowd and say, should I go this way or that way? The response has to be instantaneous. And that's what you're being called to do, is to move and act with that instant knowledge, insights that you have. The unconscious habit here is doubting the speed, like you think it's carelessness, but it's actually what you need. And you're being reminded that your quick grasp of truth is a gift. It's not a flaw. So you want to shift from debate to declaration, that inner debate. The knight often wants to argue, prove, or persuade. And spiritually, this mirrors the habit of seeking external confirmation. So it's not always in the form of, asking someone, should I do this or shouldn't I do this? Sometimes we process things out loud instead of in our heads, and we might debate somebody else. Sometimes that debate happens in our minds. We have that analysis paralysis. It's like the little people on your shoulder, the angel and the devil, though it's not really good and bad. It's just like two different sides. Like, oh, well, what if I do this? Or, well, what if you don't? What, maybe you shouldn't, So sometimes it might be external for some of you, asking somebody, what do you think of this? Even though you already know the answer. And then if they tell you what they think, and it's different than what you think, then you argue with them to prove that you're right, but you already know that you're right, so you should just skip that step because it's wasting time, basically, is what this knight is saying. So rather than waiting for others to agree, let your action itself be your confirmation. The knight teaches through movement. Look at this. We have to move. Once you take the step, you'll feel your own strength reflected back. So discern the voice of ego versus wisdom. The restless mind, ego knight, can push you to act rashly, but the aligned knight channels clarity. Pause just long enough to ask, am I acting from anxiety or conviction? And this will help you be able to trust your own inner wisdom and rely on yourself more. This brief little pause ensures that you're trusting your wisdom and you're not just moving through with too much force. Another thing that you could do is start a self-validation journal. Each time you have an insight, write it down before sharing it. Act, do, and then later note how often your knowing was accurate without needing that internal debate, external debate, or just external confirmation. Like, what do you think? Should I do this? I see it coming up in both ways. All right, and the 8 of Pentacles. I love this because, this is all about mastering your craft. And so is the 3 of Pentacles. So there's definitely a craft that you're mastering, whatever that is. It could be communication, but it could be something tangible with these pentacles. And it's leaning into trusting that sharp insight and acting without waiting for outside validation. Then you achieve this mastery. So it's like you're trying to master something, but you keep asking others about it when really you're the one that has the vision. So your skills and wisdom will deepen when you stop pausing for permission and you just start practicing. Each action becomes a stroke of practice. Building mastery will steady with repetition. You'll see yourself evolve faster with confidence rooted in experience if you work on your own. And, again, look at these little fairies. You're not really on your own. Some of these insights that you have, that you want to follow, You can think of them as muses or your guides or your higher self or whatever. Something external but in the ether, whispering to you, giving you nudges. So you already have, in a way, that external validation, and trusting that. Stopping to ask others is slowing you down, is really the gist of this message. It's slowing down your progression in your craft, whatever that craft is. Whatever idea you have, whatever business you're working on, or skill that you're cultivating, you're better off just going with the flow and adjusting as you go. It's very organic. This creative process is very organic. The Eight of Pentacles suggests that actually others are going to begin to notice your consistency, your craftsmanship, your devotion without you needing to prove anything. Also, the more you rely on your own inner wisdom in doing this, your own nudges, you're going to refine this practice. And your confidence is going to grow, and it's going to be grounded in your experience. So you're not going to have to ask, is this good enough? You're just going to know. You're going to trust yourself. And the Eight of Pentacles also points to creating something lasting. So teachings, music, arts, rituals, practices. You're creating something that's going to last, and it may benefit others. But getting that external validation or processing it, your thoughts externally, is just slowing it down, the process. Wow. Look at the little owl here. Also, there's your wisdom. You have a fox, clever. You're wise. You're intelligent. And you can only perfect your craft by practicing it, not by asking others. Just like this knight riding this bull, trying to stay in those rings, can only get better at that skill by practicing it. All right, reading number 1. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Trust yourself. You're meant to do this. This is going to grow, and you're going to grow through this process. I'm curious what you're doing. If you want to share, let me know. And I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose this double point or double terminated clear quartz, which is a magnificent ally. Unlike the single point or single terminated quartz, which channels energy in one direction, a double point carries energy both ways, receiving and transmitting, amplifying and balancing. It's like a bridge, a conduit, a harmonizer all at once. And quartz is a great amplifier of energy, thought, intention. In double form, it not only magnifies but also balances flow, helping you avoid overcharge and stay centered in clarity. And look at this, meditation for clarity. The 2 points allow energy to move in both directions, perfect for transmitting healing energy between 2 chakras, between 2 people, or between yourself and source. It acts as a bridge stone, harmonizing dualities, yin and yang, masculine and feminine, past and future. It helps dissolve energetic blockages by moving stuck energy out while drawing fresh energy in. It's helping with that flow. And quartz, just in and of itself, aligns all the chakras. And this way you can kind of do it in pairs by putting it between two chakras. This supports spiritual attunement, making the subtle body more receptive to guidance, synchronicities, and higher frequencies. It aids in removing stagnant cords while simultaneously sealing the field with pure light. And it doubles the power of affirmation work. One end receives divine guidance and the other projects your intention into the world. It's ideal for grid work or altar anchoring or placing under your pillow to send and receive dream wisdom. It assists in manifestation rituals by creating a feedback loop between yourself and the universe. And it creates a two-way filter, allowing beneficial energy in while reflecting negative or draining energy back out. It's especially potent for sensitives as it stabilizes the exchange with others. And here we have meditation for clarity. I love that. And we see in the reflection, the water's colored. You can't quite make out the details. So there's something about you gaining more clarity. It's like I see that you are receiving, but there's just some little tweak to make to allow you to see the details of something. You can almost see them. It's like something's taking shape, but you just don't have the details. All right, let's get some more information about that. Eight of Wands. Interesting. You know, Eight of Wands is synchronicities. It's fast-moving energy and synchronicities. The Chariot. Wow. This is big. And the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Wow. All right. This is so interesting. You know, and I feel like the answer is in this first card, because if you have been connecting to your guides, to your higher self, to spirit, source, the other realm, passed on loved ones, ancestors, this is confirmation that they are definitely sending you messages. You're a channel. You are both receiving and sending. So you're receiving messages from them, and they can hear you. They are receiving messages from you. It's both. It's also the energy, the relationship that you have with the quantum field and your ability to manifest things. And so this little tweak, how can you tweak it so that you can get to that next level? You're so close. And look at all of this swift moving energy with the Eight of Wands and the Chariot. So the Eight of Wands is a card of swift communication, swift movement, and alignment. So when we're asking about, tweaking your vision, those fine details, and bringing in clarity and communication with the unseen, this card is, a powerful confirmation that the channels are open. So the question is not if messages are reaching you, but how you can fine-tune that reception. The Eight of Wands suggests that this energy is moving quickly. These messages are coming quickly. There's no resistance. So fine details are often lost in cluttered energy. So you want to simplify your rituals, declutter your space, and still the mind, right? Meditation. Even just a few intentional breaths can create a clear runway for these arrows of spirit, these wands of spirit, messages. And the messages are going to come through very what's the word? It may not be like a whole page worth of words at once, a whole book, right? It's just going to be like this, do this, go here, it's just going to be like a few words, or it's a flash of insight. It might be an image, just something small. And so your higher self, your guides, they're often speaking this way. And the fine details sharpen when you stop second guessing that initial download. So you receive it and then, write it down or something. The 8 shows many wands flying at once. So spirit may not always communicate through just one channel, meaning if you want to clarify the picture, the details, then you may use other things to assist you, like a double terminated quartz crystal, or tarot cards, or journaling, dream recall, drawing, making a sigil. There's something that you can do. You get an insight, go to your journal, start drawing or writing, and as you do that, you're going to receive more details. And that's it. It's just this little tweak, or just breathing and asking a question, what else? But yeah, I definitely see you like drawing or journaling and writing something down, and that act is going to give you more details. And also, notice the signs and synchronicities. Again, write that down, because not only are you receiving directly through your crown chakra, your third eye, but externally, you may see an animal or hear a conversation that's also a communication from spirit. Oops. Talking with my hands too much. So when I say not just one channel, it's not just, you using tarot cards or journaling, but not only are they communicating directly through you like a download, but they're sending you signs and synchronicities. And that's part of the message and confirmation as well. And so just that little tweak of just taking a few intentional breaths or writing something down, journaling, just those little tweaks are going to speed everything up and give you more details. That journal, they keep saying, or a voice recorder, some way to record these insights. And over time, these patterns are going to emerge. And it's like you're developing a language between you and spirit. And you already know the alphabet and you know a few words. And just this little tweak is going to allow you to be more fluent in the language, and it's going to speed everything up. Wow, I'm so excited for you. All right, and so what happens next? Just by tweaking this, you get the Chariot. Wow, I mean, this is major arcana. This is major. This is more speed. It's also focused will and direction. So with clearer communication, you'll no longer have scatter energy, chasing signs or second guessing messages. The Chariot shows your willpower and intuition merging, right? They're uniting, and your path forward becomes unmistakable. You'll steer your life with precision instead of hesitation. The Chariot is pulled by two sphinxes or two horses, and one is light, one is dark. The major change is learning to harness opposing energies within you. And that flow, we have the double, pointed quartz here. So there's two things. It may be fear and faith, logic and intuition, doubt and certainty. Your guides are going to help you braid these forces into forward motion. And as you refine your inner channel, like the Eight of Wands, that little tweak, the outer world responds. The Chariot signals victory, recognition, and progress in your goals because your inner clarity produces outer momentum. The Chariot is also about self-mastery and discipline. Clearer spiritual communication won't just bring more guidance, it brings, more responsibility for how you act on it. You'll become more accountable to your own wisdom and less swayed by external pressures. So it's more responsibility to yourself and to the insights. The more you act on those insights, the stronger the bond and the trust grows in these relationships and in that language with yourself, your higher self, your guides, spirit. You're, taking the reins and steering towards a chosen destination. This is amazing. And then, what's the next thing? The Seven of Pentacles. So you have swift guidance, clear direction, and then the grounded patience of tending what you planted, nurturing, cultivating, growing, the fruits of patience and investment. The Seven of Pentacles is the gardener's pause, seeing sprouts, knowing harvest is coming, and recognizing the value of all the work already done. The outcome is not rushed success, but measured, sustainable growth. This is discernment and effort. When you align with the Eight of Wands, when you fine-tune, tweak that language, you get this focused will and determination. You're no longer scattered energy, scattered thoughts. This 7 shows you will become highly discerning, learning where to pour effort and where to step back, trusting time to do its part. So it's like when you first plant a seed, you might tend to it a lot, and then it gets older, you water it. It gets to a point where you don't have to tend to it so much. Maybe it's a tree and it's bearing fruit, and you can step back and just wait for its gifts to unfold. So you're getting more discerning about where to put your energy, where to put your focus, and where to trust that it's just going to bear fruit or unfold as it should, as you want it to. And you're not forcing outcomes, right? You begin to trust in cycles. You know that not everything must arrive at once. The sweetest fruits ripen in their season. And this card promises that the seeds planted from listening to your higher self and steering with sovereignty will grow into something lasting. Your spiritual communication will translate into tangible life outcomes. Remember, I mentioned it's also the relationship with the quantum field. This is you tweaking the language with your higher self and guides, gaining better clarity, following that guidance, which is going to help you overcome obstacles easily, be driven with focus, and manifesting. Remember, I said it goes both ways. So it's like you're receiving messages from the other side. Something happens in you, like you're the soil that these seeds get planted in, and then you send it back out into the quantum field where it grows. That's the 7 of Pentacles. So amazing. Reading number 2. Wow. Please let me know if this resonates. I'm so excited for you, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Greetings. Reading number 3. You chose the ruby Kyanite. Rubies are connected to the energy of fire, and water is the element that Kyanite is connected to. So its essence is about harmony between passion and peace, grounding and flow, action and alignment. Ruby brings vitality, courage, and life force, and Kyanite brings serenity, clarity, and energetic alignment. Together, they allow you to burn brightly without burning out, passion anchored in calm clarity. And Kyanite is known for never holding negative energy. It clears blockages and realigns the aura. Ruby ignites the root and heart with vitality. This pairing harmonizes energy flow through the chakras, helping you release stuck patterns while staying grounded in the body. And Kyanite opens pathways of communication with guides, higher self, inner knowing. Ruby ensures that what comes through is embodied, not just out there, but lived. It helps you anchor it. The benefit is clearer reception of guidance that translates into embodied action. Ruby shields from psychic attack, while Kyanite dissolves confusion and negativity. Together, they foster resilience. You can face difficult truths or emotional challenges without collapsing or hardening. Ruby awakens motivation and zest, and Kyanite directs that energy along the lines of your soul's true path. The spiritual benefit is living in alignment, fueled by passion, guided by clarity, and sustained by balance. And look at this card. I mean, look at that. Literally grounded. It says connect with Gaia. We see these energetic roots giving this person power, but we also see those roots going into the ground. So you are being guided to spend more time with Gaia, to spend time in nature, connecting to trees and standing on the ground barefoot. And this is going to bring you clarity, focus, calm, energy, groundedness, balance, centeredness. I love it. This just looks so powerful. I just see you gaining all kinds of insights and wisdom through your interaction with nature. Let's get some more information from the tarot. All right, there we go. The Queen of Swords. The Three of Swords. And the Two of Pentacles. Okay. All right. The Queen of Swords shows you are learning to wield your passion with precision. You have a passionate nature and a sharp clarity of mind. And the Queen says, let peace temper your fire. Not every truth needs to be delivered like a blade. Sometimes clarity can be wrapped in compassion. And balance comes by softening judgment, even of yourself. It's passion gives you strength, but peace gives you grace. Remember, think about the Kyanite. This is all about that balance, finding center, being grounded. And look at how she's put her sword down and she's playing a harp. She's softening and she's surrounded by these crystals. So there's something about, tuning in, asking questions inside your mind to find that clarity before speaking, helping yourself to discern what to say. I see you leveling up in your communication skills. Yeah. I see you finding more grace, finding more gentleness that, a truth can be delivered. You can say what you want to say, but you're saying it like a queen would, a gentle but powerful queen. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. And the Three of Swords is where you're ready to clear energy so that your vitality can flow freely. And we see here, loss, heartbreak, grief, energies that fragment the heart and siphon vitality. So this card is calling you to release the residual pain that still lodges in your chest, in your body, in your heart, not to erase it, but to let it be integrated. Look how the snow is covering him. So instead of seeing this image as taking it at face value, let's look at it metaphorically. She's laying to rest her pain, right? Connect with Gaia, and it's going to be absorbed and transmuted so she can carry forward what she chooses to and let the rest be composted. So you're integrating aspects of it, you're reconciling this energy rather than letting it drain your energy. And this is Ruby Cayenite's gift, clearing out old sorrow while reigniting courage and zest. What a wonderful image. Yeah. It's in a forest, which is, that forest is like your mind. So there's something that you're being called to lay to rest, to let go of. Let it be the compost and the soil that nurtures the next chapter. And then the Two of Pentacles is how you can embody the guidance that you receive. The Two of Pentacles reminds you that guidance isn't static. It lives. You're meant to dance with it. You're meant to act on it. It's meant to be part of your daily life. And I love that, we have this balance here. Look, these are your guides, your higher self guiding you, showing you how to balance. I mean, we can even think of this as Gaia, right? You connecting to Gaia. You connecting to Gaia is really going to help lay this to rest and help ground you and center you so that you can speak your truth with kindness and compassion and gentleness, but still be assertive and strong. So to embody your guidance, practice integration through rhythm. It's like when you knit or sew or spin yarn, there's like a rhythm to it. So don't just receive the insight, move with it, adapt it, test it in real action. Embodiment is about weaving spirit into the mundane, into your cooking, your walking, your speaking, balancing responsibilities with grace, like royalty. Each choice, however small, is an opportunity to embody what you've been told, what you've received from your guides, from Gaia, from Source. So you can even, ask yourself, how can I dance with my guidance today? How can I weave this into this moment rather than saving it for later or for a ritual or sacred time? Integrate it into all aspects of your life. So the Queen of Swords is asking for the union of truth and compassion. The Three of Swords is asking you to release the grief that blocks your vitality. And the Two of Pentacles is asking you to weave your guidance into the living rhythm of your daily life, every part of your life. And the more time you spend in nature, the easier that's going to be. All of this, all three of these. And that's going to bring you the gifts that Ruby Kyanite offers. So beautiful. Reading number 3, please let me know if this resonates. I'd love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.